Is it safe to bleach damaged hair? Well, the answer is it depends. Today I'm going to talk about how you can safely bleach damaged hair and the things you need to consider before you cause any irreversible damage. And if you're new here, my name is Mirella Manelli. I'm a hair educator who loves helping hairstylists simplify their skills and business. And before we get this video started, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button, share this video with a friend, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a video. Now let's go ahead and get started. Bleaching already compromised and damaged hair can be tricky, but it's not impossible, especially if you follow the right precautions and steps. So whether your client has over-processed ends, chemical damage, or just really fragile hair, I'm gonna walk you through how to approach these situations really carefully. First things first, before you even grab the bleach, you need to understand the extent and the type of damage that you're working with. Not all bleach is created equal, and that's going to determine whether bleaching is even an option. So for example, if the hair is super stretchy, gummy, it's snapping off, breaking, melting in your hands, kind of feeling and looking like wet cotton, this is usually a sign of really severe damage. In this case, I would recommend holding off on the bleach, maybe doing a really good haircut, and just creating a plan until your hair is restored. Basically, you just don't want to push the hair past its breaking point, and maybe just invest in a good haircut. However, if the damage is more manageable, like maybe the hair just feels a little dry, a little brittle, maybe there's some damage on the ends, there are a few things that you can do to minimize the risk. So step one is prepping the hair. You just can't go straight into bleaching damaged hair. It needs a lot of TLC first. The goal here is to strengthen up the hair as much as possible before you even go in with any lightener. So some things you can do are use bond builders like Olaplex or even K18, and these are products that are really going to help build the internal structure of the hair. I even recommend things like deep conditioning masks, and even protein treatments can also help. And just a little known fact is that moisture and protein love to live in the same space as the hair. So if you are going to pick up a product that's strictly protein and strictly moisture, make sure that you're alternating one every few days. Overall, you just really want to focus on making the hair as healthy as possible, putting in that hydration, building that internal structure, so we have a really great canvas to work with. Now I want to talk about your bleach and developer choice, because when you're working with really damaged hair, you need to be super selective with the type of lightener and also the developer that you're using. So my number one tip is to opt in for a low developer. I'm talking 5 volume, 7 volume, or even 10 volume at the highest. Lower volume developers are gentler on the hair, and while it might take a little longer to process, you're going to have so much more control and also reduce the risk of further damage. And when it comes to choosing the right bleach, I highly recommend a bleach lightener that has some sort of bond protection in it. This is going to preserve the integrity of the hair at the same time while it's lifting. Bleaches like Beyond Bond Lightener from Kenra or even Redken's Flash Lift Bonder built inside are really great options. But remember, they're not magic. You still need to be cautious because all hair bleach causes damage. Now let's get into the actual bleaching process, where things can really go wrong if you rush it. So first things first, you want to apply your bleach lightener strategically. And basically what that means is you want to avoid applying any bleach lightener over previously lightened hair. And if your bleach lightener is too runny, this is where you can get that overlap. You'll basically start by applying your bleach lightener to the healthiest parts of the hair first and leave those damaged areas for last. Or maybe you just don't need to apply any bleach lightener at all to the areas that just absolutely cannot handle it. Another key point is you want to use clean, thin, and even sections. This is what's going to give you that consistency for that even application and even lift. You're also going to want to keep a really close eye on your processing time. Just because the bleach lightener says to process it for up to 45 minutes does not mean you're going to process it up to 45 minutes. This is going to be a process where you're going to check it every 2, 3, and 5 minutes, because the entire goal here is to keep an eye on the integrity of the hair so you do not cause further damage. A really good indication of this is feeling the texture of the hair. So if you open up the foil and you start to see that the elasticity is kind of a little on the extra stretchy side, or maybe you're already getting signs of that breakage kind of happening, you're going to want to rinse out the bleach immediately from the hair. It's always better to rinse out the bleach a little early, come up with a plan B or even a plan C instead of risking irreparable damage. Now let's say that you did the bleaching process, you're at a great point, it's time to rinse. I highly suggest that you rinse with cool water. There's nothing worse than rinsing bleached hair with hot water. Just because the hair is already on the delicate side, using cool water is going to be the best option, especially even more so if you're doing on-scalp bleach. You'll definitely want to use a gentle hydrating shampoo and at least do about 2 shampoos to ensure that all of the bleach is rinsed out of the hair. And if you're a stylist that has a really hard time knowing if all of the bleach residue is washed out of the hair, Matrix has a really great bleach finder product that when you shampoo the hair, it actually turns pink to let you know that there's still bleach inside. So you just follow up with a 3rd shampoo. Once you're done with the shampoo, it's really good to follow up with some sort of bond building treatment like Olaplex No. 2 or even K18. This is what's gonna help lock in that strength of the hair. And if you're a DIYer bleaching your hair at home, Bond Bar is a really great option that's also sold at Sally's. Once you've safely lifted the hair, post-care is just as important. This is the time where you really want to focus in on the hair's integrity and its health and just really rebuild that hair's internal structure. I highly recommend using products like Olaplex, their shampoo, conditioner, and even their treatments. And if you're a professional stylist, you can even invest in doing Olaplex No. 1 in salon. You'll also want to focus on using moisturizing shampoos, deep conditioning treatments, and definitely don't skimp on using leave-in conditioner. This is how you're gonna keep the hair really hydrated, because remember, moisture and protein live in the same space in the hair, so they're always fighting for that space and competition. So you wanna keep a really great balance. The overall goal is to keep the hair nice and hydrated, so that way when you're combing it through, you're gonna avoid any further breakage. Personally, I really like Olaplex because they have a complete line for extremely damaged hair, but use what works best for you. It's also really important for you to schedule regular trims so that way you can clean up any of those fragile hairs or split ends that might arise. Now, when you're working with damaged hair, usually split ends can be an issue. So this is why personally I like scheduling my clients that have damaged hair. We do every 4 to 6 weeks for a dusting appointment. So basically what a dusting appointment looks like is they come in with clean, dried hair and I barely take off any little bit of split ends. It's literally a 5 to 10 minute appointment just to do a little cleanup. This is no shaping at all. The goal here is getting your hair on a healthy path and maintaining the integrity so we don't cause any further damage. So bleaching damaged hair can be done safely if you approach it with care and patience. So just to give you a little recap, you want to do pre-care. You want to make sure we have your hair nice and healthy before you even get any bleaching services done at all. You want to make sure that you're using a low developer and choosing the right lightener for the canvas that you're working on. You're going to want to apply your bleach lightener strategically. That means do not overlap. Always monitor the hair as it's processing. If you think that it's done and it can't handle anymore, you're already seeing signs of stress, just go ahead and rinse it out and come up with a plan B or plan C. And remember, post-care is just as important. You want to maintain your hair's integrity and build up its strength so that way when the next time you get your hair done, you're gonna have an even better canvas. At the end of the day, it's all about protecting the integrity of the hair and making sure your clients leave your chair happy and feeling their best. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. And like always, you can find me on my other social platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all under Mirella Manelli. And for more education, you can head on over to my website, mirellamanelli.com, where you can learn the different ways to work with me and even sign up for my newsletter where I'll send you education right to your inbox. And like always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.